explain all these things. So in last class, what we have seen? We have seen Lorentz transformation. If we have S frame and S dash frame is moving in direction of I cap, that is moving in X direction, and we have this collinear X direction, X and X dash is collinear, then we have inverse Lorentz transformation and Lorentz transformation. The Lorentz transformation is X dash is equal to X minus Vt root under 1 minus V square upon C square. Y dash is equal to Y, Z dash is equal to Z, and T dash is equal to T minus Vx dash upon C square root under 1 minus V square upon C square. So this is our Lorentz transformation. Suppose I have S dash frame and which is moving in Y direction. So this is moving in Y direction. Then according to that, I have to change this particular Lorentz transformation. So what will happen? This X will not going to change because there is not any relative speed in direction of Y. So what will happen? This X dash will remain X, but this is going to change exactly as X is going to change when S dash is moving along X axis. So how my formula is going to change? My formula is going to change. Y dash is equal to Y minus Vt root under 1 minus V square upon C square. And obviously Z dash will remain exactly same, but time will also change. And what will happen? This T dash, sorry, this is not X dash, this will be X actually. Sorry, this is X. T dash is equal to T minus V Y, and this will be Y upon C square, and this is 1 minus V square upon C square. So this is the way we have to change Lorentz transformation. Okay, and we have to always keep in mind. So now this formula we are going to use when we have velocity of S dash with respect to S in I cap direction, isn't it? And this formula we will write when velocity of S dash with respect to S is in J cap direction. This is in J cap direction. Then we have just change all this thing, and you have to always keep in mind that which formula you have to use. Okay, so this thing we have to just always we have to keep focus that which formula is there. Similarly, we can write for Z dash for the Lorentz transformation when S dash is moving in Z dash, then we can change it, isn't it? Hannah?
Yes.
So this kind of situation can be always there. Okay, so let's try to apply this Lorentz transformation to prove that the speed of light is not changed with respect to any inertial frame. So let's try to do this thing, and we will again make a simple story, and we will just use this Lorentz transformation. This is very fundamental, and we can use this thing and we can prove whether speed of light is changing with respect to inertial frame or not. So let's try to understand all this thing. Okay, so I am going to create one very nice story, and we will just try to prove it. Okay, and you should just see how I am approaching the problem. This is very important because now we are at the point where we can learn to solve different types of problem. What is problem? This is very simple. We have one particular, let's say this is one particular train. You can assume there is a train, and the length of this train is, let's say, L. And this train is moving with respect to some platform. Let's say this is platform, and this train is moving in a X direction. So this is moving with velocity V, in I cap direction. And what will happen? Suppose there is some source of light, and this light pulse will emerge from here. It will just travel from source to the detector. So detector is at the another end. Let's say this is my detector. So this is my source, and this light pulse will move with the speed c with respect to the rest frame of train. Okay, so there are two observers. One observer is sitting on train and another observer is sitting on platform. So we have basically this particular situation. And we have to just see how much time this light, we have to see that if the speed of the light pulse with respect to this person which is attached to rest frame of train, and what will be speed of light with respect to the observer who is attached to rest frame of platform. We just want to explain this particular thing. So do you understand this problem? Okay. So what I am going to say that, okay, this is I am just saying that this is my S frame and this train is my S dash frame. And it is given velocity of S dash with respect to S is V in I cap direction. Okay. Are you people comfortable up to this? Yes. So this is in I cap direction. This is nothing but the velocity of train with respect to platform. What I am saying I assume my platform is my S frame and my train is my S dash frame, and this is some source. So I will write SO. Okay. Now, so how this person will measure the light, the speed of light? This person will measure the speed of light. He will just measure this thing and he will just measure the time, isn't it? And he will see that the speed of light will be constant c, and he know that the speed of light is c basically. So can I write with S dash frame x2 dash minus x1 dash is equal to L? Can I write this thing? Yes, I can write. With respect to this particular person, this length is L. And can I write T2 dash minus T1 dash is equal to L upon C? Yes, this is very trivial because this train is rest, only this light pulse is moving. This train is rest with respect to this observer, and this light pulse is moving from source to detector, and he will see this light pulse is moving like that. Okay. Now, this story is written by the observer who is attached to S dash frame. What will happen to observer who is at the S frame? So from S frame, the total distance is nothing but x2 minus x1. This will be your distance. Yes. And what we can do? We can go for the inverse Lorentz transformation, because Lorentz transformation is from dash to non-dash. Inverse Lorentz transformation is from non-dash to dash. So I can write this thing as an inverse Lorentz transformation. And what will be this value? This value x2 can be written as x2 dash plus v t2 dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square. Yes. Minus, what is x1 dash? X1 dash is x1 dash plus v t1 dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square. Everybody is comfortable up to this? Yes. So I can collect the x part together and time part together. So what will happen? This will be x2 dash minus x1 dash upon root under 1 minus v square upon c square plus v t2 dash minus t1 dash, and this will be root under 1 minus v square upon c square. What is x2 dash minus x1 dash? That is L. This is L. And what is t2 dash minus t1 dash? That is L upon c. So I can write this expression as L plus v L upon c root under 1 minus v square upon c square. Are you people comfortable up to this? Everyone? Have you any doubt up to this?
No, sir.
Okay.
हेलो
हाँ,
सर,
बोलो बोलो. Yes.
डी जो है वो प्लेटफॉर्म पर जो ऑब्जर्वर है वो ऑब्जर्व कर
हाँ,
रहा है।
वो मेजर कर रहा है कितना डिस्टेंस है. वो तो ऐसे ही मेजर करेगा ना. उसके लिए कोऑर्डिनेट जो होगा दैट विल बी x2 एंड x1.
ओके सर,
Because you have this thing, है ना? Same coordinate is defined from s dash is x dash and t dash, and the same coordinate defined from s is nothing but x and t, isn't it? I am just leaving y and z part, है ना? So because this is more important. Yes. So now you can see this thing can be written as, I can take L as a common, and we have 1 plus v upon c root under 1 minus v square upon c square. So what will happen? I can do 1 minus v upon c into 1 plus v upon c. So root will be come above and the numerator. So we have 1 plus v upon c upon 1 minus v upon c. Yes, this is my effective distance traveled by light pulse with respect to this particular person. And yes, this is more than L. This is more than L. I will discuss why it is more than L. That is different issue. But yes, he will see this much of distance traveled by the light pulse. Let's see how much time he is going to travel. So I am just removing this part, and then we will just go for same argument. Same argument here. What do we have? Let's say, and this you can write delta x also. Don't worry. So we can write delta t, and this will be nothing but t2 minus t1. And again, we can do Lorentz transformation because we know this thing. This is known to us. And then we can just write t2 dash plus v x2 dash upon c square root under 1 minus v square c square minus t1 dash plus v x1 dash upon c square by root under 1 minus v square upon c square. And now again I can collect the time part and the space part. So when we are going to collect the time part, that will be t2 dash minus t1 dash plus v upon c square, and this will be x2 dash minus x1 dash, and here we have root under 1 minus v square upon c square. Now what will be t2 dash minus t1 dash? That is nothing but L upon c. What will be x2 dash minus x1 dash? This is nothing but L. So again we can calculate it. So I will take this space actually for calculating. So this will be L upon c plus v upon c square into L, and we have root under 1 minus v square upon c square. This will be my delta t. And if you will simplify this thing, you can take L upon c common, L upon c common. And what we have 1 plus v upon c, 1 minus v upon c. Yes. Now, look at the beautiful part. The beautiful part is if I am going to divide delta x upon delta t, what you will get? This is delta x, this is delta t, and this thing is going to cancel out, and you will get this particular value as c. Isn't it? Just try to divide it. Divide करो, देखो क्या आ रहा है. Just divide it delta x by delta t. C will become L will be cancelled. This thing will become and you have this particular thing. So you can have, with the help of Lorentz transformation, you can prove that the speed of light from one frame or the speed of light from the another frame is always invariant, and that value is nothing but c. And if I am talking about the speed of light, I am just talking about a light pulse moving in a vacuum. I am not talking about the light pulse moving in a glass, the light pulse moving in a some another matter. I am not saying that. That is entirely different issue. So why I always tell you this number is very important. This number is actually 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So this number is actually invariant. And you can see, if we have this particular thing, V upon C tends to 0, we have exactly same information what we are getting from the Galilean one. So you can just see that how we are using the Lorentz transformation, the coordinate transform, and this is nothing but the coordinate transformation. Nothing to do with the distance, nothing to do with the time interval. We are just talking about one coordinate, another coordinate, and let's try to do this thing with the coordinate transform. And this is just a linear coordinate transformation. And this is so beautifully designed that it can reveal the law of nature. Whenever you will just try to understand the complex phenomena of nature, mathematics will help you very nicely. And this is the one of the thing where you can use mathematics to understand the law of nature. But thing is that in every problem, if you are doing this particular concept, it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of time. So what we have to do, we have to be little bit smarter to attempt the problem. So what we will do, we will learn the concept of relative speed. अभी तक अगर कुछ पूछना है, then you can ask me. Everyone? Are you people comfortable? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Anything?
Yes, sir.
Are you people enjoying this class or not? Huh?
Enjoying, sir.
Yes,
Enjoying
sir.
ना?
मेरा एक डाउट था
हाँ,
Yes,
पूछो
sir.
पूछो डाउट पूछो. Just ask doubt.
सर, जब आपने लास्ट उसमें बात की थी कि यदि एक एस फ्रेम है, एक एस डेस फ्रेम है, तो सर एस डेस फ्रेम जो है वो वाई जे डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रही है ना सर? तो
नहीं, अभी तो
सर
x के डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रही है. अभी x के डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रही है.
नहीं सर, इसके पहले जो आपने कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ाया था ना, वो वाई वाला, वाई डैश वाला, सर मैं उससे आपसे पूछने वाला था.
अच्छा, बोलो.
तो सर एंगल भी चेंज होगा क्या?
Okay, good, nice question. देखो, obviously you can write this thing for if the s dash is moving with some angle, obviously you can write this thing, but thing is that उससे चीजें काफी complicated हो जाती है. ठीक है? And now just tell me, who will decide what is x axis, what is y axis, what is z axis?
Sir, I will decide.
You will decide. Now,
Yes, sir.
Now, and look at what you have to do. Suppose this is one frame and
Yes,
another frame is moving in this direction. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Then
Yes, sir.
what you will do, you will just say this is my x-axis. The problem is
Yes.
sort out. मीन्स जिस डायरेक्शन में एस डैश मूव कर रहा है, आप उसी को क्या कर सकते हो?
Yes, sir.
एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन ले, इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्शन ले सकते हो.
सर
Okay.
एक और डाउट था मेरा.
बताइए.
सर जैसे ये वाला जो एग्जांपल अभी अपन ने सॉल्व किया, लाइट पल्स वाला, सर इसमें तो एक सोर्स से लाइट पल्स निकल रहा है.
बिल्कुल.
बट यदि ये जो लाइट पल्स है, ये उस रेस्ट जो ऑब्जर्वर है ट्रेन में, जो कि रेस्ट फ्रेम में है, वहां से यदि उसके ओरिजिन से निकले और जो प्लेटफॉर्म पे जो ऑब्जर्वर है,
मतलब ये समझा नहीं.
मतलब सर आपने जो अभी डायग्राम बनाया ना, एस और एस डेस वाला, जस्ट
हाँ.
आपके पीछे है ना सर?
हाँ.
उसमें यदि उसके एस डेस फ्रेम से ओरिजिन से लाइट पल्स निकले,
हाँ निकले, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, निकले लाइट पल्स। किधर निकालना चाहते हो?
हाँ सर, उसी डायरेक्शन में।
इस डायरेक्शन में?
हाँ सर, इस डायरेक्शन में।
हम कब बात करेंगे, डोंट वरी, अभी तो बहुत चीजें आनी है, गिव मी टाइम, ठीक है?
जी सर।
वो सारे प्रॉब्लम
ठीक है
करेंगे,
सर।
आप जो भी आपके दिमाग में आ रही है वो सारे प्रॉब्लम हम सॉल्व करेंगे, ओके? सो गिव मी टाइम। जो
जी सर।
नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है, दिस इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, बिकॉज दिस इज very nice concept. Look at this, is very nice concept, but it takes a lot of time, isn't it? It takes lots of time. You have to always find delta x, you have to always find delta t, then you will just calculate. और यहाँ पर लाइट पल्स की जगह पर अगर मैं कुछ और पार्टिकल दे दूं, then it will create problem. Okay, so
Yes.
we have concept of relative speed. So let's try to go for relative speed. Then the next session will be only for the problem solving, जहां पर ये सारी चीजें आएंगी. Okay? Okay. So let's try to go for the concept of relative speed. Okay? देखते हैं, इसे समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. Okay. So let's go for concept of relative speed, and this is very nice concept. What we have S frame, and again we have S dash frame. And suppose this particular point P, let's say this point is P. This is some particle, don't worry. This is some particle, and this point is moving with respect to S dash. Please, this point is moving with respect to X dash with speed ux dash, ui dash, uj dash in I, j, and k cap. And this is measured with the observer who is rest with respect to S dash. Now, obviously, this point will be have different speed with respect to S. And let's say this is ux, ui, uj with respect to S. And obviously, this S dash is moving with respect to S with velocity v, and I am taking deliberately this S dash is moving along I cap direction. So if this S dash is moving along I cap direction, let's try to figure it out. What is the relationship between ux and ux dash, ui and ui dash, uz and uz dash? Okay, so let's try to figure it out. And now my favorite is always inverse Lorentz transformation. I always try to work each and every problem with the inverse Lorentz transformation. Because what is S frame, what is S dash frame? If it is not mentioned into your problem, then I am free to choose what is my S frame and what is my S dash frame. So what I will do, I will play a trick. When the frame is not directly given, then what I will do, I will just choose my independent variable as ux dash, ui dash, uz dash. So let's try to see how I am going to approach all this problem. So we have inverse Lorentz transformation, and this inverse Lorentz transformation is x is equal to x dash plus vt dash, and we have 1 minus v square upon c square. Y is equal to y dash, z is equal to z dash, and I have t is equal to t dash plus v x dash upon c square root under 1 minus v square upon c square. So this is my inverse Lorentz transformation. If I define ux dash, what I can say? Ux dash is nothing but dx dash upon dt dash. Isn't it? Because time is not universally same from the each and every reference frame. Isn't it? According to Lorentz, the time is just behaving like a space part. Obviously, it is very abstract in nature. So, ux dash is nothing but dx dash upon dt dash. Ui dash is nothing but dy dash upon dt dash. And similarly, uz dash is nothing but dz dash upon dt dash. Now, what is ux? What is ux? This ux is nothing but dx upon dt. What is uy? This uy is nothing but dy upon dt. uz is nothing but dz upon dt. Now, let's try to play with this equation. How we can play it? I can find, let me use this space also. Dx is equal to dx dash plus v dt dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square. And we have dy is equal to dy dash. I am just differentiating on both sides. Yes, I am just taking what will be change in x on the left hand side. So similarly, this will be dependent variable for x dash and t dash, which is independent variable. So we can just use this thing. And similarly, dz dash is equal to, dz is equal to dz dash. And now look at the time part. Dt is equal to dt dash plus v dx dash upon c square and 1 minus v square upon c square. Can you remember from the last problem? What is dx dash? That is nothing but x2 minus x2 dash minus x1 dash, isn't it? What is dt dash? This is nothing minus t2 dash minus t1 dash. So same thing we are doing. But what we have to do, we have to just calculate my value of ux. And what is ux? Ux is equal to dx by dt. So what we can do, we can divide this thing. If we are going to divide this thing, we have dx dash plus v dt dash. This 1 minus v square, this 1 minus v square is going to cancel out. So what we have basically this number is dt dash plus v dx dash upon c square. Now look at, we can just do something. We can just divide dt dash on numerator as well as denominator. Yes. So if we are going to divide this, and this thing is nothing but ux. So ux is equal to, if we are going to divide this, dx dash upon dt dash plus v 1 plus v upon c square dx dash upon dt dash upon dt dash. And look at this thing. Ux is nothing but ux dash plus v 1 plus v upon c square ux dash. Look at this thing. This is my relative speed. This is my relative speed in x direction. If ux dash is given, I can write the value of ux. Now you can see, what is v? V is nothing but the velocity of s dash with respect to s. Look at here. Now let's try to calculate ui. If we are going to calculate ui, then obviously what we have to do? We have to just divide dy upon dt. We have to just take this one and this one. And now dy upon dt is equal to, we have dy something like this. Yes, dy dash. And this part will come at the denominator. So you have 1 minus v square upon c square. And this part will be in the denominator. So dt dash plus v dx dash upon c square. And now again, what I have to do? I have to just divide dt dash on up and down. Yes. So what I will get? I will get dy dash upon dt dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square 1 plus v upon c square, and this will be dx dash upon dt dash. And what is dy dash upon dt dash? This is nothing but ui dash. So I can write ui as ui dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square 1 plus. Now look at this part. This part is exactly same as this one, isn't it? This is exactly same as this one. So we have v upon c square ux dash. So I am just taking this thing. So is that visible to you? Everyone, are you able to see this thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look at here. This denominator part is exactly same in UI also, but this is going to change. Now look at these two things. Now without deriving, can you write for use it? I am using this space. Okay. Without using this part, any derivation, can you write for use it? That will be exactly like UX or UI.
UI.
That will be exactly like UI. This will follow this symmetry, not this one. So what we have, you have uz is equal to uz dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square by 1 plus ux dash v upon c square. Now you can see this is entirely different than these two, isn't it? We have equation 1, we have equation 2, we have equation 3. So equation 2 and 3 is entirely different with equation 1. Why? Because S dash is moving in which direction? I cap direction. So we have entirely different form of UX.
Yes.
And UI and UZ have same form. And look at this denominator part. That this denominator part reveals that my S dash is moving in which direction? X dash direction, isn't it? This will just give you feeling of something u dot v, isn't it? नहीं, ये कुछ ऐसा feeling नहीं दे रहा है? U dot v. This v is in which direction? X direction. So you will give u which part of u? That is only X part of u.
X direction.
Yes. So this information is very important. That what will be velocity of S dash with respect to S? This information is very important. If you know this information very nicely, then you can write this form, isn't it? You can just write this form. Everyone is comfortable up to this?
Yes, sir.
Hannah? So, okay. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Then I will just clear it and then I will write it again and then we will solve one problem based on this. Okay, the same problem we are going to solve. Everyone comfortable? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Great. So, okay. So, what is my formula? Obviously, I have to just see this is my S frame. This is my S dash frame. This is moving with velocity v in I cap direction. And I have this point as ux dash, ui dash, uj dash with respect to S. And the same point is ux, ui, uj. Sorry, this is with respect to S dash and this is with respect to X. So hence it is moving along X direction. Then ux is equal to ux dash plus v 1 plus ux dash v upon c square. And ui is equal to ui dash root under 1 minus v square upon c square 1 plus ux dash v upon c square. And similarly, uz is equal to uz dash root under 1 minus v square c square 1 plus ux dash v upon c square. Now, if you want to, and here, sorry, here ux dash, ui dash, uz dash are independent variable. This is known to me, and I will just want to find this one. Suppose I just write I just want to write this thing as my ux, ui, uz as the independent variable. Then how you will write ux dash? What you have to do? If Lorentz transformation is there, inverse Lorentz is always there, isn't it? Or if inverse is there, Lorentz is always there. You can jump from one frame to another frame, only changing the sign of v, isn't it? Only changing the sign of v. So what I have to do? Ux dash is equal to ux, and this will be what? Minus v 1, and this v will again change sign. So this will be ux v upon c square. Similarly, ui dash is equal to ui root under 1 minus v square upon c square, 1 minus, and this will be minus sign because this v is going to change. This is ux v upon c square, and this will be uz dash is equal to uz 1 minus v square upon c square, and you have 1 minus ux v upon c square. So this is your, this will come from the Lorentz transformation. This will come from the inverse Lorentz transformation. I will always use this thing to solve my problem. Okay. So every time I have ux dash, ui dash, uz dash, non-quantity, obviously I have to identify what is my v. V is nothing but the velocity of s dash with respect to s, and I will always calculate ux, ui, uz. You will see that will be very much just algorithm based calculation. Okay. Now again I am claiming that if v upon c tends to 0, what will happen? If v upon c tends to 0 in everywhere, what you will see? If v upon c tends to 0, you will have exactly v upon c tends to 0, then you have exactly ux is equal to ux dash plus v, and ui is equal to, this part will be also 0, this part will be also 0. So you have ui dash, and this part is also 0, this part is also 0. So you have uz is equal to uz dash, exactly as the Galilean, isn't it? Exactly as Galilean. And now let's try to figure it out, that whether speed of light will be invariant from every inertial frame or not. Let's try to figure it out. And again, we are going to same problem. Same problem we have. Suppose this is train. This train is moving with velocity, let's say vt. The light pulse is moving with respect to train. Okay. And this train is moving with respect to platform. This is light pulse c with respect to train. Okay. This is moving with respect to train. Means the observer who is rest with respect to train will see this light pulse is moving with c. So what I can do? I will just keep this as my s frame. The train is my s dash frame. And this light pulse is nothing but ux dash. So what we have? Velocity of s dash with respect to s is nothing. This is v, and this value is something vt. And velocity of light pulse with respect to s dash is nothing. This is ux dash. This is right now, this is moving only in x direction. Don't worry, we will move in y direction, we will move in z direction. Every time we will just prove whether the speed of light pulse is not going to change. So this value is equal to c. And now we have to find speed of light pulse with respect to s, that is ux, and that will be what? Now, which formula we are going to use? We are just going to use this formula, because light pulse is also moving in x direction. This v is also moving in x direction. So we have to use this formula. And when we are going to use this formula, look at how beautifully this formula is going to work. Look at how beautifully this is going to work. So what is ux dash? C plus v, okay, by 1 plus c into v upon c square. Let us enjoy calculation. This c and this c is cancel out. And what you have? You have c plus v, The real problem was this particular C plus V, isn't it? In the Galilean. And with the help of genius of Lorentz, this is going to cancel out and you have Ux is equal to C. Isn't it? This cannot be proved by the Galilean. If you are proving Ux dash is equal to C, then Ux will be C plus V. But look at the beautiful calculation of this particular thing. How Lorentz transformation nicely worked to reveal the nature, the property of nature. And the unnecessary part of the Galilean is nicely cancelled out. And we have the speed of light from any frame is C. But yes, again, I am talking about the light is moving in a vacuum. If it is moving in some matter, it will be entirely different story. Why? Because this number C, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second is very important. Is very important. So the most important thing is that how we will apply all this theory on our problem. This is most important thing. And we have to always approach the problem in a same way. In a same way to any complicated problem, every problem we have to approach in a same way. So that thing will be not discussed today. We will discuss it in the next week. Okay. So for after today's class, I think you have tutorial sheet also in your Google Classroom. Everyone? Have you visited
Yes,
your Google Classroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you will just go for tutorial 1 and you will solve the problem only based on Lorentz transformation. I think first 3 problem will be based on Lorentz transformation. And in the tutorial, it is also given the subheading Lorentz transformation. So I expect that everybody should solve it and send in your group. Okay. Everybody is,
okay, sir.
are you giving me promise? है ना?
Yes, sir.
एवरीबॉडी देखो, हम लोग इतनी धीरे धीरे इतने आराम से काम करेंगे कि हम लोग हर एक चीज क्लास में ही करेंगे. ठीक है? Everything we are going to do in classroom. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just approach and one day one question, not more than that. A question karo and just give into your WhatsApp group. Okay, so I think we have 12-13 people, so you should just give us. Obviously ek to main hi hounga, I will not send it, but all other people who are just here for first time or second time, you have to solve it. Solve karoge?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Huh? Okay. If you have any doubt, then you can raise question, है ना? क्योंकि आज का सेशन हम यही खत्म करेंगे. Next Saturday, Sunday, we will just go for only problems and problems. That will be more important, है ना? आज के लिए the theory part is over. Next problem part will be start, and then we will go for application of Lorentz transformation. That is, first application was length contraction. Yes, but उसके पहले हमें इस पूरे कॉन्सेप्ट को फुल्ली कमांड करना है. ओके, फुल्ली कमांड. वी हैव टू जस्ट कमांड ऑल दिस कॉन्सेप्ट. यस, एनीथिंग एल्स, एनी एडवाइस, एनीथिंग?